Welcome to Dynasty After Dark, here on the Dynasty DNA network, where we talk dynasty trades, dynasty strategy, all things NFL, and all things dynasty fantasy football. So tune in with us to dominate your dynasty leagues. It's in your DNA, and here's your Dynasty After Dark host, TJ Blake.
Welcome back, Dynasty DNA Strand crew, to the newest episode of Dynasty After Dark. I'm your host, TJ Blake. You can follow me over on X at FFTJBlakeDNA. And I know he loves that intro, and I know he loves what he's seen from his quarterbacks tonight from the Steelers game. It is my Dynasty DNA co-founder, Ty Blake. You can follow him over on X at Dynasty DNA Ty. Ty, just tell me what you thought about the play there from the Steelers quarterbacks.
Yeah, it was preseason, but they look pretty solid. I like what I seen kind of out of all of them. Rudolph was a little disappointed, but Aller and Howard looked good, so that was nice to see. Nothing
new with Rudolph, right? I mean, unfortunately, we just kind of know what he is at this point, but it is nice to see them young guys look good, no doubt about that. Yep. I mean, we did enjoy that. And, of course, his arch nemesis here, the kryptonite, Wizz, Dynasty Wizz, Nicholas Holt. You can follow him over on X at Dynasty Wizz FF. Wizz, what's the good word on the Ravens' first preseason game here?
Honestly, I haven't been keeping up with the preseason wise, but I'm sure Lamar Jackson's going to be a healthy scratch here. You know, got to manage the load management over there, and NBA does it. So why not try it out for Lamar? But, you know, excited to see what the young guys could do. You know, Jacoby Lane's been balling it up all season, mini camp. That's all we've been hearing about. So I'm excited to see him out there on the field. USC product, TJ. So it's probably a close one to your heart there, even though he's in the beautiful purple. But.
Yeah, the putrid purple, let me just say. But you are right. I do love my USC wide receivers. But, you know, today, as we talk around the Dynasty Fire, and we're going to come up with some different things that we all want to talk about tonight, different things that are on our mind from a Dynasty NFL perspective that we all can debate on. We love doing these open forums on these type of shows. So I'm going to start out with, because I have one for you that I think that you're really going to like, and I think Ty will like it as well. I want to get you guys' perspective on it. Now, you know how hard it is, Wiz. Say that you have an aging or a one-year type fill-in type quarterback, right? Like you have your Jacoby Brissett's, right? You have your Aaron Rodgerses. You even have Matthew Stafford's to a degree, right? Maybe not quite in this category yet. You know, there's different guys that are on the bubble we could talk about. My perspective on that, like if I have them type of guys rostered, right? If I have them on my Dynasty roster and my team is not a good team, right? I'm not a contender. I'm a middle of the road, bottom of the end team in my Dynasty league. Instead of trading them for the 2/3 or the random third and a just wacky type player that'll probably never hit, why not flip them into another quarterback? And when I mean other quarterbacks, I'm talking, could you take a Jacoby Brissett right now, Wiz and Ty? Can you flip him into a Mac Jones, right? Could you flip him into a Drew Aller, right? I just like that approach a little bit better, gambling that way, opposed to just getting the random third-round pick for a guy, because you know how it is. I mean, that's probably all you're going to get from a Jacoby Brissett from that standpoint. I mean, look, I mean, you can always hold on and hope you can get a little bit more during the season. But if you wanted to make the move right now, I'm just not taking the random third. I think I want to go the route of getting another quarterback and just re-rolling the dice. And, you know, I like Mac Jones from the standpoint of, like, what happened to Sam Darnold, right? We've seen Mac Jones look good for the 49ers here this past season when he had to fill in for Brock Purdy at times. And he did okay in Jacksonville when he was hitting Brian Thomas on them long bombs, right? I mean, he was at least playing serviceable down there. So, Wiz, how do you like that take, right? If you're a bad team, middle-of-the-road team, would you do a strategy like that? Is that a strategy you think that could be a sneaky strategy instead of just getting a random pick out of nowhere?
I'm probably the biggest exception, probably Matthew Stafford on the list, just because, you know, you get more than a third and you should be trading him for more than a third if you're going to move away, especially if you're going to rebuild roster. But no, guys like Geno Smith, the guy that you're like, is he actually going to, what is he going to do out there for the Jets? I don't have a problem with it. I see the logic behind it. And we know the 27 class is definitely a high-end talent, but is it going to be a deep class where those thirds are actually going to matter? And even in the deep classes, right, I think the percentage of hit rate of them being a startable fantasy asset at some point in the future is like 10 to 12% on average. Being startable means like at least like a wide receiver 2 or running back 2. So I like it, right? If you believe in the talents over there, obviously you have guys like Carson Beck. That's probably came up a little bit in the rank, especially after his was a Hall of Fame game. That's what it's called. I'm trying to remember what it's called, but he definitely looked better when he did in college. But yeah, the guys like Drew Aller, I think Drew Aller is a great mention there to go ahead and go by.
Right, and it's young talent, right? You're taking this is Dynasty 101 to me. You're taking an old talent, you're trying to flip him into a younger talent. And look, we know how the quarterback pool is. It's hard to dip your toes into that pool sometimes. And I don't know. I just don't like getting the random third. And like you look at Jacoby Brissett, Wizz. You look at Jacoby Brissett. Look at Malik Willis, right? Like they're starting this year, but how much value are they going to have as a starter after this year, right? That's kind of where I'm at. So, I mean, I know you said Stafford, and I even said, look, not now, but I mean, at some point, I think you can get more during the season for him for sure. But I mean, these other guys that are probably one and dones and are just, kind of one hit wondery types, I just think you can just flip them and get what you can get right now and try to get another quarterback.
I was going to say as well, like guys that we were high on, like if I get a third if I have to trade Brissett in third and Elijah Arroyo is on the roster, like you get more than just there for these guys. So definitely shop around more.
Right. But no one ever likes to pay it though. That's the problem, right? I mean, like that's the thing. So Ty, same thing I want to ask you about this. Like, I know you're not really in these positions much, so I know that you're not really making moves like this on many of your dynasty rosters. You're more in contention most of the time. But looking at it like that, I mean, I just don't like these late-round picks and these dart-throwy type players. I mean, just give me another quarterback to re-roll because, like, if Mac Jones could do the Sam Darnold model, if, you could get a Drew Aller and it could happen, right? I mean, you could hit gold here and it could be a really good, solid trade for you.
Yeah, but those guys are considered dart throws too, aren't they?
Well, they are, but I mean, but still, it's the quarterback pool. It's not the tight end wide receiver pool where there's so much turnover all the time at them positions.
I just think it kind of depends on who you are. Like if you're a guy that watches a lot of college, maybe stay with the picks because maybe you can find somebody worth value down through there. Or more if you're just a guy that doesn't watch a lot of college and you've kind of liked the small sample size, you've kind of liked what you've seen in the NFL, maybe stick more to what you're saying, the swap quarterbacks. I just think it kind of depends on the manager. Personally, for me, I'd probably go the quarterback route too. I mean, I like guys like what we just mentioned. Drew Aller could be something we don't know. I mean, he's only played one game of preseason football, but it was impressive and different guys kind of like that, and Mac Jones ain't a bad shout. So, yeah, I just think it kind of depends on the owner. But if you watch a lot of college, maybe go for the pick just because you watch more of the players. So
yeah, and you look at this, Ty. Like there's a lot of names down here that like could just be done after this year. Now I'm not saying they couldn't maybe get another chance down the road somewhere once again, but they run out of opportunities. But like we already mentioned Jacoby Brissett, like Michael Penix. Yeah. Right? I mean, like Shedeur Sanders, Deshaun Watson. Like, there's a lot of quarterbacks this year that are down around that edge.
The only thing I'll say is maybe, too, just hang on to him because if there's a guy that's contending that loses their quarterback, too, Jacoby Brissett's not a bad option, and they're willing to probably pay a second-round pick if they're that deep.
That's a good point, but let's tear this off, right? Like Jacoby Brissett, you think's a better option for like, a contender to pick up and then would be willing to maybe pay a later second.
Oh, absolutely.
But like you look at like a Michael Penix, you'd rather make the move now.
Yeah.
So like there's certain guys you would probably make the move now for, and there's other guys that you think would be better served to hold on to and wait maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a tough question. I personally, for me, if I'm in that situation, I maybe wait with Brissett because Brissett's going to put up points. I mean, that's kind of it's kind of what he's there for, kind of like a Joe Flacco, and then maybe just wait until God forbid, like a Joe Burrow goes down, like he kind of always does, and then go to that owner and say, hey, I see you're competing. Here's Jacoby Brissett, so you don't have to pay a premium price for another guy because Joe Burrow will be back. You might be able to get a second-round pick, but it just all kind of depends.
Yeah, absolutely. Wiz, I want to ask you this one because I'm just curious. There's two struggling guys here. I want to know who you'd rather have. And, say you have Michael Penix rostered. Would you trade him 1-for-1 for J.J. McCarthy right now, or would you hold Penix?
I'm probably just going to hold on to Penix, honestly. Right? I think he has the clearest path to starting sooner rather than later. I mean, J.J. McCarthy has injury history. I mean, granted, it's not 3 ACLs, which I mean, kudos to Penix for being able to stand at 3 ACLs. But I mean, I think Minnesota's leadership, especially if Kyler has a good season this year, they're going to sign Kyler, right? And then you're going to have an Anthony Richardson as J.J. McCarthy, but not as sexy and not as a big of a ceiling as Anthony Richardson had. So I think I'd rather just go with the guy with the best chance of starting, because I think he could beat up needle arm Tua. So,
right, and Tua's another one that we could mention in this trade flop type of deal. But Ty, I want to know you'd take that trade, Michael Penix or J.J. McCarthy?
I'd take McCarthy.
3 ACLs too much for you.
I'm not taking the robot. Yeah, I mean, I think it's honestly, I don't like either player. What scares me about McCarthy is he's in one of the easiest systems to run, and he still is having a really rough time, and that's really, really alarming to me. But I'm just going to take the chance that maybe he ends up with like a San Francisco or something, another easy system, and maybe they can help him out. I don't think it will happen, but I just think he's got a better chance of being a starting quarterback in the NFL, and I don't think that's a very high chance either. So.
And maybe, honestly, the Kyler Murray thing's the best thing for him right now.
Yeah.
I mean, sit back again and just hope and pray that you can get something put together there.
Yeah, but he sat behind Sam Darnold, didn't do nothing for him. He sat behind Carson Wentz. I mean, that's definitely not doing anything for him. I don't know. This is his third year. He should definitely, what he has. At least Penix
Ty's shaking his head already with
flashes.
I mean, I'm not going to argue because I don't think he's any good. But
yeah, both players are. I don't want to roster
right.
Right.
I just think that just watching him play, Penix is just not. He's not good. I mean, I just don't think he's good at all. I mean, especially fantasy wise. I mean, he's really bad in fantasy, I think. So, and he's one bad injury away from really being dust. So, I'm just gambling on McCarthy, but I'm not excited about it by any means.
And you'd rather have Mac Jones than both those players.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I think Wiz can agree with that. Mac Jones over both them players, Wiz?
I mean, honestly, I think I'd rather have Russell Wilson. Is he still in the league?
No, he retired. He retired.
Okay, yeah. I still have him over those two guys. Give me the third for him, dude. I'm done with him. I just want to wash my hands.
For sure. Well, I just wanted to bring that up. And, that's a good conversation because, to Ty's credit, right? Like he said, maybe Brissett, we could pump our brakes just a little bit on because, he's going to probably fetch those points a little bit easier than some of these guys. And you got to give Jacoby credit. I mean, he has been a great soldier as that fill-in guy, that bridge guy. He's done his job well.
In fantasy, he's kind of like a younger Joe Flacco. He puts up yardage and he puts up touchdowns. They're there. I mean, it's not flashy, but they're there.
And he's way better than Anthony Richardson.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see his stat line, baby? What? I was 3 passes and 1 interception today.
Yeah,
Woo!
He had 2 turnovers.
Oh, he had 2 turnovers?
Yeah.
Well, Ty said sell him for the 3 first when you could have got him 5 years ago.
My.
So I really think that was a good, productive conversation, fellas. And you know what? I think that, you could take a little bits of pieces out of that in a dynasty mind. And I think that you could, make a good trade or two, potentially pull something out of that. Definitely good thinking to always think outside of the box. Wiz, okay, we're going to give you a topic that you want to bring up here this evening. Up there in Alaska, you're stewing on. Let's hear what you have to say, and let's get into it.
Yeah, I mean, this is not going to be Ty's most favorite topic over here because we're going to be talking about sophomores. Just kind of 4 guys that have underwhelmed. And if you had to rack and stack, now this list is kind of gross because this is going from last year's class, and we're talking about wide receivers. The most belief you have in this guy to be a long-term dynasty asset in non-IDP formatting. Travis Hunter, Alec Aminor, I forgot to pronounce his name, Jaden Higgins, and Trey Harris.
All right, Ty, I'll go first. I'll let you stew because I know you just can't wait to just throw these players all under a bus. I'm almost sure of that. So let me just say here right now, Jaden Higgins is one for me. Why? Because the pathway is open in Houston for that wide receiver 2 spot still. I mean, look, there's hope there. I mean, there ain't miles and mounds of hope because of the way the offense was and how bad it was. But, I mean, look, there is still opportunity there. Next, I'm going to go with probably most likely I'm just going to go with the flair of Travis Hunter. I don't like it. I don't think that he's a great fantasy asset. I'm not buying into any of this. He's going to be a predominant wide receiver. Maybe I could make a trade if the hype's still there. Third, I'm going to go with Trey Harris. I mean, you look at this Chargers offense, it's anybody's guess. That's my biggest problem with them. You know I use the word fraud. I know Ty likes to use the word fraud when it comes to the Chargers offense from a fantasy standpoint. But, I mean, you look at it like, okay, they still have Quentin Johnston, obviously, Ladd McConkey. There's room for another receiver. Do they put Rondé Gadsden in the slot, and do they put David Njoku more in the traditional tight end room? There's a lot of different question marks there with the Chargers. But, I mean, there is talent with Trey Harris. It's just I don't know if it could be unlocked with the Chargers or if it's going to work there. And last is A.O. Manor, because you just look at it, right? It's process by elimination. They bring in Carnell Tate. They bring in Wan'Dale Robinson. You know, they still have other guys they could throw to, like that Shamir DK they were throwing to him last year as well. It's just really watered down and polluted, and it's a worst offense. Like, you look at the Chargers, it's watered down and polluted, but at least the offense is better right now as it is. So that's how I would have it. I would go Higgins, I would go Hunter, I would go Harris, and I would go A.O. Manor, Ty. And I don't know. I know you can't wait to answer Wizz's question here when it comes to these players. Is there any interest on your end, Ty?
No, not for me. Jesus. I mean, yeah, I'll probably go Higgins first, but I'm not a Higgins guy. I mean, when's the last time we've seen a wide receiver 2 produce in Houston?
Long time ago.
Not for a long time. The quarterback plays dog shit. Oh my. 2, I'd probably just lean Hunter, but I mean, you're playing with fire. I mean, he could possibly not play any more snaps on the offensive end of the ball. I mean, he'll get some, but I think it's going to come crashing down. It's just a really weird situation. We talked about it last year, and it seems like whoever drafted him as high as they did is probably going to get burnt real bad, which was a big possibility. And I'd probably go A.O. Manor. I hate the quarterback situation. You know, I don't like Cam Ward. But just he's young. I mean, he did okay in the spot he was in last year. He made some nice grabs. Trey Harris is last for me. I mean, this is just a prototypical Chargers receiver that's just going to crash and burn, in my opinion.
And may God have mercy on the Chargers' souls, Ty.
Yeah, it's the great value, Quentin Johnston. I'm just not a fan of Trey Harris. I'm not a fan of that team, really. It didn't. Do you know who their passing game coordinator is?
No, who is it?
Adam Gase.
Adam Gase is, oh my, that's even more of an asterisk.
You spoiled it for me, Ty. I was gonna, by the way I answered, you spoiled it.
So
he's on top of it.
So that's really.
It's just like when we hear Matt Nagy, Adam Gase, there's always concerns when them type Frank Reich with the Jets.
Yeah.
There's always concerns with that. But no, that's I'm Ty. Look, our list ain't far off. I mean, really, you could flip a coin, especially, you know, from 1 to 4 on this, really.
Yeah.
But I think, Wiz, and I want to get your perspective because this is your question. I want to get your list. But answer me if I'm wrong. I think when you're looking at all these players right now, your best hope, I think, as far as realistic expectations, are wide receiver 3. Am I not right about that?
Yeah, no, you're probably right about it. We just don't feel good about any of these guys, really. I mean, that list there, like, it's gross for me to read out loud to you guys. And Ty looked like he was being tortured to answer this question. And it just kind of reflects on this class that maybe, you know, I mean, Jaden Higgins right now, he's sitting at wide receiver 45 in ADP. So you could flip that for maybe close. I mean, Devontae's probably right around there in ADP wise. So it's a good chance to maybe flip these guys while you can still get value for them. But for me, I would rank up Jaden Higgins number 1. After that, I'm going Trey Harris. Ooh. Adam Gase. He's going to save him. He's going to save the Chargers. Quentin Johnston can't catch. We all know he can't catch. I don't know if you guys saw the drops in practice, but and then I don't care who you stack 3 and 4. They're going to be not really fantasy relevant, in my opinion. I mean, we preach all the time, TJ and Ty. I mean, we don't draft Travis Hunter. It's a wasted pick here. Like, just don't do it. And you get a first-round pick for him before the season started, and you still didn't, and you took him at the 1.5, 1.6. I think that was his range. So at least everyone else on this list, you spent a second-round pick for. maybe a third for what's his name? Titans. What was the other guy I said?
Moore.
Yeah, something like that. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, look, you look at it like this, Ty. I want to go around the table and ask this because this is the $1 million question that everyone wants to know. Travis Hunter going to play more defense and offense in 2026?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I think too. I mean, I think that the Jaguars would be smarter to use him in that Deion Sanders type of role of like, okay, we need a big play in the fourth quarter. You could play him on offense maybe if you need to get a spark or something. But look, he was recruited as a 5-star corner. I keep saying it. That's what he was in college, and that's really what he needs to play. That's his strength, and why get him away from that? So
yeah, I just think he'd be more of a trick play guy.
Yeah, definitely. And it's all good, right? Even if you want to have him out there a handful of plays, I'm okay with that. But you cannot, this 50-50 stuff is not going to work in the NFL. Wiz, I know Ty agrees with me. Defense for Travis Hunter mainly in 2026. Do you think that's a yes or no?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm kind of figuring is. I mean, they signed Jacoby Myers, to a contract. You know, they have Brian Thomas there, obviously. And then who's there?
Parker Washington.
Yeah.
Parker Washington, yes. So, and they just paid, Brent Strange as well. So, I don't know. He's going to be fourth best, or he's going to bring him in some gadget plays, maybe. But you don't want that for fantasy football. I mean, if you have him in IDP, I don't know if corners are worth anything in IDP, but that's what you got. So,
and I always use this phrase, and it always rings true. The flashy lures always catch the fish, right? And like we talk about, like the Xavier Worthy when he run the 4.2 whatever, right? And you see Brian Thomas, who's a 1.5 foot taller, and he weighs more, and he run like a 1/10 of a second slower. No one talked about that. They were talking about Xavier Worthy broke the 40 time. Oh, Travis Hunter, this guy's unique. He's special. He's wonderful. He can play on both sides of the ball. Then you waste a 106, 107 on him, and then you just burn a first-round pick, right? Like, you just got to be careful. Some of these things, and it's just like the old saying goes, that are too good to be true or too good to be true. Yeah. Don't chase these guys that are just these outlier-type players because it seems like it always bites you in the butt, especially at wide receiver. All right, so here's my next one here for the night, right? This is Ty's first time. He's getting into the flow of how this show works, but here's my first one, and I can't wait to see what you guys think about this. My next one here is when we're getting into startup draft territory, right? We're seeing a lot of people still fall into the trap of the Buffalo Bills, Kansas City, Los Angeles Chargers trap of picking these players. And look, I mean, I'm not saying every player on them teams are bad, but like, okay, Kenneth Walker goes to Kansas City. Automatically, everybody thinks that that's just going to totally change him, totally change the way they do things. That's just not how it works. DJ Moore goes to Buffalo. I know Ty's brought this up countless times. You know, Amari Cooper, that when he said this reminds me so much of the Amari Cooper move, I couldn't agree more. And it's not no shade at DJ Moore. It's just his advanced age. It's the fact that they don't like to throw the football outside of the numbers to wide receivers very much. And you just look at this, right? It's just the simple facts of like, I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm not going to get in on these players. You know, there's certain ones like Josh Allen. I want Josh Allen from Buffalo, no doubt about it. I will still take Patrick Mahomes gladly in dynasty fantasy football. Gladly, right? He's going to have a resurgence at some point, right? It could be a little rockier year this year, but he's still Patrick Mahomes. But when you see these moves of Kenneth Walker going to Kansas City, DJ Moore going to Buffalo, right? Like, I'm just not falling for these type moves anymore. And I just think this is going to be underwhelming. And you know, you look at it, I would rather go to different directions. Wiz, I don't know how you feel about this, but it seems like people keep getting their wool pulled over their eyes when it comes to these type of moves and these type of players landing on these type of teams.
Yes and no, right? The biggest thing with it is, you know, just keep tabs on it, right? See what the media is saying about it. Like, obviously, there's going to be fluff going around in the mini camps. But from all reports, and it's coming from a lot of different sources, well, that DJ Moore is having a really good camp. So I'm still kind of in on DJ Moore, right? We've seen wide receivers move there, and then they've been successful. Stephon Diggs. So it could be Stephon Diggs or Amari Cooper. And if it's Amari Cooper, well, then you're shit out of luck. But if it's Stephon Diggs, right, you still have the upside there. might be ran slightly different. There's a lot of different things, but Kenneth Walker wise, yeah, I agree. There's a lot of pitfalls there in Kansas City. Like we've been preaching to get rid of Kenneth Walker. People, I guess, I happens all the time in the Discord. They're like, "Oh, I'm getting Ken Walker in this trade. What do you think?" No, that's all it is. Like we're not big Ken Walker guys on here. He's just an RB2, and you're buying him right now. RB1 prices makes no sense to me. It's a guy I'm avoiding in all my redraft leagues. It's just, I don't know. When there's guys like Chase Brown that are cheaper than Ken Walker, you just got to find a way to pivot. So, was there another guy you said? DJ Moore, Ken Walker?
I was just picking on the Chargers because, like, it's the same thing every year, right? Like, you know how I am with the Chargers. I mean, it's just like, but whenever these players land on these teams, it just baffles me, right? Like, and you mentioned Kenneth Walker, Wizz. And, like, yes, you know how I feel about him. You know how we all feel about him. But, like, this is the guy that value never dies on. I don't understand it. I don't know how he can get away with some of the stuff he gets away with from a dynasty standpoint. Like, I mean, I know he had a great playoff. And I know he's a Super Bowl MVP. But I think that's the most frustrating thing when it comes to Kenneth Walker is the fact that he has that ability. He can do it. But, like, he turns it off, too. And you look at Kansas City, they have not had a successful just workhorse really running back there. It just really hasn't worked. I mean, they spread the ball out. They like the committee stuff here and there. They like the little pass catchers they bring in, doing different parts of their offense. And then, Ty, I mean, I know you spoke about DJ Moore. Look, I mean, I'm looking at DJ Moore right now. He's going in the 7th, 8th round of a lot of dynasty drafts. I mean, look, I mean, you're getting guys I would think I'd rather take a chance on. Like, I know you like Michael Wilson, Ty. You could take a chance on Michael Wilson over him. There's other guys that are popping up down here. Jamison Williams.
DJ Moore at that point than Michael Wilson.
I don't know, though. I don't know about that, Wizz, because I'm telling you right now, like, what is the ceiling here, right? Like, you said Stephon Diggs. I don't see that. Not at this point in his career.
Well, he's probably not going to, right? I mean, Stephon Diggs, I think, was wide receiver 1 overall with Buffalo at least once in there, or at least top 5. But, I mean, DJ Moore, I mean, if he's healthy, Bills' offense looks like how it has been, and he could be like a decent wide receiver too. Like 17 is probably his ceiling. And we've seen him before, and that was with Justin Fields throwing the ball. Imagine it with Josh Allen
in his prime
over there.
That's the thing that's in his prime, and that's the thing. You can't really bring up Diggs because Diggs went there when he's like 25 or 26 years old in his prime. Like I completely agree with it. I feel like these players always, and we even seen it with Worthy, like whenever he got drafted. Like it's just whenever these guys go with these two quarterbacks with Mahomes and Allen, and I don't feel like it's like the Chargers. I don't see where you're getting that, TJ.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
Well, I just talking about the Chargers. They're on my mind. Like, you know how I feel about
David
it.
Njoku's probably fine over there. He'll probably put up like tight end 1, which is nothing really special.
Yeah, I mean he could be a back end guy, but go ahead, Tom.
But I mean I've watched DJ Moore pretty much his whole career, and the drop off last year was considerable. I mean, he didn't even hardly miss a game, I don't think. He doesn't look like the same player. He doesn't look like he's as hungry, as interested like he was in Carolina, which is kind of weird because you went from a horrible team to a contender, and it just hasn't worked out. I mean, he just just kind of throwing a lot of hissy fits, and he just doesn't seem like the same player to me. I'm not saying he's going to have a bad season. Like I don't think he'll have like an Amari Cooper type season that he did whenever he went there, because I do feel like he was on his last legs, even though he had some good weeks before they brought him in. But I just don't see the hype. I don't see the hype. I think Michael Wilson's a much better get.
Jamison Williams?
Oh,
Would you rather gamble on the age and the upside, though, at that point?
Yeah.
Michael Pittman 2 rounds later? I mean, it's got to at least be similar production.
2 rounds later, maybe. I just think that it's a little rich for me. I don't see him having obviously, and I don't think Wizz does either, but a wide receiver 1 finish. I think he'll be a wide receiver 2, but I think he'll be a really far back end, like
in the 20s.
22, 23, 24, and yeah, I'm just not paying that price.
Well, and I mean, Diggs was 27 when we went to Buffalo, so that's 2-year difference between him and DJ Moore. And right, I mean, a lot of it started when the Bears didn't want to keep Justin Fields, so they drafted Caleb Williams. Right, that's where it all started. He wanted Justin Fields to play, which whatever, I get, stand for a quarterback and stuff like that. And ever since then, that's when he had bad blood in Chicago. So change of scenery, I mean, we've seen it before, but yes, we've seen it absolutely not work and towards the talent in guys' career. It's definitely a big risk. And I think he might be a little overinflated in value, but I think that's also kind of the wide receiver landscape right now at Dynasty, that all these guys in the back end, like, where are we going to rank these guys? Where are we going to put Lab McConkey's, the Zay Flowers, the Chris Olaves, the Drake Londons? Like, he's still a wide receiver one with the quarterback situation on Atlanta. Like I get he's a really good wide receiver, but no quarterback play. It's the same with Garrett Wilson. Like, I don't know. It's just a very weird landscape that we're in. And I think it's what's propelling these veterans up. Like, Devontae Adams is still a wide receiver 40 overall in most Dynasty startups. So,
yeah, let me just say this, though, real quick, and I'm going to let you get back to it, Ty, because I got another question for you, too. But, like, DK Metcalf goes around later, right? I just look at, like, the value is just way too high on him right now. DJ Moore, that being.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'd take DK.
And let me just say, Ty, I got another question for you because I know you know veteran receivers probably better than anybody when we're talking about this topic. As Wiz said, 29.3 years old DJ Moore is, right? So, like, he is, I mean, he's still got a little juice, but he is getting closer to that 30. Now, like, when you're looking at guys like that, the bigger guys like a Mike Evans, it's more of a, like, go up and get it. I don't have to separate. I can bully you around. Last longer than guys that have to separate like that and lose a little bit of athleticism and speed?
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like the bigger guys seem to last a little bit longer. I mean, even Tyreek Hill has even kind of fell off right around 30 years old. So, yeah, it does seem like those guys last just a bit longer, even like the Keenan Allens, like I know he's done now, but I mean, when he was 32, 33, whatever, he was still a pretty good fantasy ad. So
semi-productive for sure.
Yeah, Devontae Adams is still very relevant. It just seems like those are the type guys that do last. I mean, even you see Cooper Kupp's really fell off.
Yeah,
right around 30. So yeah, I think that's a good way to analyze it. Just seems like the taller, the lankier guys seem to last just a little bit longer than the smaller, swatty type guys.
Separators.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, but like, and this is what it comes down to. And I think that we all can agree on this. Kenneth Walker, I think, is a horrible pick. I just do. Yeah. Like, I think that is the worst, one of the worst when we're talking about players in this grouping. But DJ Moore, I don't think you're going to get a bust, as you guys said. But all I'm saying is, like, if you're counting on him to be your true wide receiver 2, like on a dynasty contending roster, it could be shaky ground. And I think you could see a lot of ups and a lot of downs.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not going to work out. I'm just saying that it doesn't seem to work out more than it works out. Like even like the Dalton Kincaids, like just that landing spot, people exploded, and it just hasn't worked out. And I'm not saying it hasn't for everyone. Like James Cook has a great landing spot for him. Like it's looking good, but I just think that the landing spots are really, of those two teams specifically, the Bills and the Chiefs, really are inflating prices. Whether it's someone that goes there in free agency at the deadline or, it just gets traded there, whatever, free agency, or gets drafted. Yeah, that was my other one, gets drafted. So, yeah, it definitely got to watch. That's for sure. You get burnt.
Yeah, and that's what inflates the prices. Wiz, anything to close out with here before we move on to you yet again?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm down for the gamble because it's like I said, like you probably have a year, maybe 2 left in DJ Moore, and at the end of the day, I don't think it's gonna kill you if you miss out on it, right? If he turns out to be kind of a bust and gets less points than what you would have gotten, but I don't know. We've seen before. There's outliers in there. Like, Stephon Diggs, he looked pretty decent for New England last year. And he's 33, 34, kind of the bigger frame. Mike Evans has a substation that he's battling now out in San Francisco. So is he going to be healthy, or is it time to move on for him? But he's also priced way cheaper than DJ Moore. So I don't know. I get what you're saying, and it's definitely something to pay attention to, and just understand the risk that you're taking by investing in this asset and just don't overpay for these assets whenever they move to new teams. Just
exactly.
Breaks.
Exactly, and I think that's the moral of the story. Don't overdraft and don't overpay, right? Like, and like if I got DJ Moore as my wide receiver 3 or my flex, I'm feeling pretty good about that, right? Like I'm okay with that, but I just feel like if you're definitely counting on him to be your true number 2 in your dynasty roster, I think you're on shaky ground.
Yeah, I agree.
I think you are, but just keeping it in perspective. Okay, Wiz. What do you have going for us tonight? And tell me, is it a bear question, or do we have any bears questions coming for Bob or Teixeira?
All right, so my question for you guys is, we're talking on the spirit of changing teams. There's some running backs in here, and I'm gonna tell you their names and then their ADPs, and then just tell me which ones you are invested in or you want to invest more in heading into the season. You obviously have the Kenneth Walker. I know TJ is your number one, so we'll say that, but he's at 30. Current ADP's 36 pick. Travis Etienne went to the Saints, pick 52. Rico Dowdle, 117. Kenneth Gainwell, 121. Rashad White, 131. And then you have Isaiah Pacheco that's outside the top 140 somewhere. I didn't paste his number over.
So let me just say, Wiz, them names that you mentioned, right? Like they caught my attention immediately. Kenneth Gainwell, Rico Dowdle. As far as like later round guys that I'm looking at,
yeah,
I like them guys a lot.
I like Pacheco too.
Yeah, honestly, but like I know he's got a little injury going on. Hopefully he's okay. It's an MCL sprain. We'll see if he's back. But look, and here's the thing too, like with Pacheco especially, and I want to get you guys' perspective on it, but like Pacheco, like if I have Gibbs, I want Pacheco, no doubt. I have to try to get him. If I have to pay a couple thirds or something just to get that security, I'm good with it. But I look at Gainwell and I look at Rico Dowdle. Like as late as you're getting them guys are viable, I think, flex options and running back 2 fill-ins when you need them. And 2, I know Wiz brought up Kenneth Walker. I will never endorse Kenneth Walker being that. I never, ever, don't even think about it. We talked about that already. But
TJ, what happened last year? Didn't you... I think you made a trade for him. Or was that 2 years
No, that was
ago?
like 2 or 3 years ago. That's when it started the whole rant, when he lost me my championship game when he got his whopping 8 points. But, that's where it all started. But no, like Kenneth Walker, I'm not interested in whatsoever. You mentioned those guys down at the bottom. Travis Etienne's a little interesting to me. I do think that, I think his ADP is justified. You're getting him, in the 5th round, something like that. Or his 5th, 6th round.
Yeah.
He's going to hit a lot of dump-offs and things of that nature. It's going to be there. But,
RB17.
Yeah, that's fair. RB17, I think Etienne's a lock. As long as he's healthy, he can hit RB17, I think at least. So I think where you're drafting him, I can make a case for that. But I'm not overpaying for Etienne in trades. I will not, because, I think some people are hoping for a big ceiling in the Saints offense. I don't know if it could be there.
I think that's going to be Shuck's going to play a big role in that, if he will or not.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%.
He's going to have to get him down in the red zone.
Yeah. And how's the health of the team, right? The health of the team's going to be there. And I think this Saints team will be better. But, yeah, I'm not overpaying for Etienne in trades. In the draft, I think it's fair if you're getting them late 5th, early 6th round. I think that's a really good piece of business. If you need running back help, especially at RB2 or 3, that's a good pick. But, like I said, I think the biggest value, though, is Gainwell and Dowdle. That's the biggest value for me. Out of that list, I like that. I don't mind Pacheco either. But, hey, I just think he's more of that guy. I'm not going to get fooled into Isaiah Pacheco as a god. As far as a fill-in, guy off the bench, I think it could be serviceable.
You don't have to get filled in. He's a god. He's going really late. And I think he's a good pickup. He's...
Well, the ADP corrected itself on a Pacheco.
So where's he normally going now?
Well, I'm just right now.
He's going past the 12th round, somewhere in there.
I just feel like it's a good get. I feel like he fits that offense perfectly. They're going to use him in a Montgomery kind of type role. He's running for his life right now, and he's a hard-nosed runner. I just think that he's going to be a really good get for Detroit. And I think he's going to have a nice little season. I'm not saying he's going to be a startable player every week, but I think he'll be a good flex candidate.
Exactly, because, I'm glad you said that, because he's not Montgomery.
No, he's not.
He's not. And I think that's what everyone's got to be cautious of. Because Montgomery could have been startable.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Every week.
Yeah.
And I'm like you. I don't think Pacheco is that guy. But, getting him in the 12th round, that's solid, right? That's okay. But what I'm saying is when he was just perceived to be a great buy, which we never bought into, by the way. We were never on that train. We always said he just is what he is. But there was a lot of people last year and the year before saying, oh, this guy's a great buy, go get him. And his value was just way, way too high for what he was.
Right.
But now it's corrected itself. So, I'm on that. So, I'm going to let Ty finish, but this is how I look at it. Walker, not interested. Etienne is a running back 2-3. sign me up. I think the ADP's fine. I'm not overpaying for him in a trade. Dowdle and Gainwell, I think, are the best value there for bringing points for where you're getting them. And Pacheco is a good gamble for where you're getting them late. That's how I look at it.
That's pretty much what I would say. That's right around what I'd be. So
okay, so Ty's on the same page with me, Wiz. Okay, it's your question. I mean, do you agree with that, or do you have any discrepancies?
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm basically I'm in step with you guys, right? Dave Montgomery was a guy I forgot to even think about throwing on this list. I mean, that's probably another great buy. Texans like to run the football, so he's gonna get the bulk of the carries. He's gonna get the goal line. We saw Woody Marks. He's not really couldn't get in the goal line that much over last season. So, but yeah, so I agree with you guys that Travis Etienne's he's one of my favorite guys to go ahead and get if you need RB depth, right? Of him is my RB2. Rico Dowdle, he has that nice RB1 upside each week. Is he going to be an RB1 or 2 every week? Probably not, but he has the upside to do that.
Right.
Kenneth Gainwell, they paid him. Bucky Irving's been banged up. He was banged up for almost the full entire season last year. I think he's still kind of recovering. They're slowly inching him back into the workload, so they're not going to want to run him right away. That's why they paid Kenneth Walker. So he's going to be a good short-term guy with potential long-term asset over there. And then Rachaad White, I mean, he's probably the highest because he's RB32 right now. And I get why, right? You're planning because is it going to be JCM? Is it going to be Rachaad White? Is it going to be whoever else is in that backfield? Who's the guy they drafted out of Penn State?
Nick Singleton.
No, Kaytron Allen.
Kaytron Allen, yep.
So when Kenneth Gainwell is 31 and White's 32, there's a gap for me. I'd rather give White in a third to get Gainwell, to be honest. So I think White's ranked a little too high. Same with Kenneth Walker, sorry. So, but yeah, so give me Travis Etienne and Rico Dowdle, Kenneth Gainwell. And I don't know where Dave Montgomery's at, but he's probably a great buy because he's probably going right around that Gainwell price range. So
yeah, in this draft, he went at the 8-10, David Montgomery. So, Ty, let me ask you about David Montgomery before we move on, just really quickly, because you buy these veteran players. I mean, is a second for David Montgomery in your cards? Are you going to try to look other places, or do you think that's a really good value?
Yeah, I'd probably say it's a pretty good deal. I mean, you're not going to get him for a third. I mean, I think second's probably
what you have to pay.
Yeah, you're going to have to pay up. I mean, Woody Marks was running back 29 last year, but he's miles ahead of Woody Marks. And Woody Marks don't, scare me at all. I think it's going to be Montgomery's backfield, and I honestly think the Texans are going to try to run the football because Stroud throwing the football can be dangerous for them. I mean, we've seen it. The guy makes a lot of mistakes. I just think that, David Montgomery is probably going to be in for a good season. It's going to kind of depend on Stroud, though, too, because how does Montgomery eat touchdowns? Can Stroud get him down there enough to
get there?
Yeah, to get a pile of touchdowns. That's a big question. I think the yardage will be there. He don't offer much in the passing game, so he's going to have to score touchdowns. So that's my only question mark. But for a second, I'm willing to gamble that. He's still like 29. So
okay, and last thing, like say you were a top 4 team in your league for sure.
Yeah.
Would you do a second and a third for David Montgomery? Or is that too rich at that point? Like say you're a top 4 team, your pick's going to be 209 to 212. Would you make the move?
Yeah, I'd do it.
Okay. Wiz, that's final one for you. If you're contending second and a third, 209 to 212, would you do a 2 and a 3 for David Montgomery?
Can I just get Rico Dowdle for a second instead?
You could try, but no, I'm just saying this is your only option right now.
Yeah, honestly, if that's the best thing I could do. I guess you're kind of forced to, right? Running backs, a lot of people like to hold them on to in leagues, which is kind of frustrating at times, but honestly, I'd rather have Rico Dowdle over Dave Montgomery, and I think that's kind of reflected in ADP. I think Rico Dowdle's worth a little bit more. So, but yeah, that's the best deal in the offer. It's about winning the championship. Dave Montgomery's gonna help you secure that championship. Then screw it, put it on the credit card, and then if it doesn't work out, just don't pay it.
Yeah,
let it go to collections, and you can negotiate a lower price. That's how credit works.
That's it. Yeah, but let me just say though, in context, if you're getting Dave Montgomery, no better than a running back 2. And honestly, I'd more prefer him as a running back 3, right? If I'm getting him as a contender, if he's my third guy I can count on, he's probably really, really good in that role on a contending roster, right? Like, I'd feel really good about him being in my 3 slot, old, reliable. Right. But let's just go ahead, Ty. I know you got a question here or a debate topic that you want to bring up. Let's get right into it.
Yeah, it's something I've brought up a lot and I'm very passionate about. I just don't think it gets talked about enough. Team culture.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Does it play a role in fantasy football? That's kind of the big question for me. I'm a big believer in it. Even when I'm drafting rookies, like if I'm hitting a wall, like I don't know where to go, if I see a player in a landing spot that always seems to produce, I'll lean that way. Like, for example, and that's kind of what made me ask this question. I was just in a draft at the 112. Nobody would trade. I really didn't want it. Who's there at the 112? That Jeremy Bernard for the Steelers. Steelers always seem to draft really well at wide receiver. So I'm just going to take a gamble on them because we always seem to make these guys good. Not every time, but it always seems like 9 times out of 10, these guys are relevant fantasy players. So that's kind of my question. I'd just like to see what you guys say.
So let me just say this, Ty, and just so Wiz and everyone listening has this in context, I'm in the same draft. Well, I think Wiz is too. Ty took Jeremy Bernard over Denzel Boston.
Yep.
So he practices what he preaches, ladies and gentlemen. So just so you know, this isn't no fake fallacy that Ty's bringing up here. Now, Ty, I agree with you. I'm a big believer in culture. I know Bob's probably sitting there at the pom-poms up in the air because he's big culture Bob.
Yep.
So let me just ask you, I agree. I know that you definitely do this because I remember you taking Puka Nacua a ton in a lot of leagues where you had the 4th and 5th round picks. Yeah. You go for the Rams players. So let me just ask you, though, Ty, if you had to pick like the most violent offenders of the culture rule, like if you're looking at teams, give me 5 teams right now that you're just like, I'm not drafting them no matter what because they're on this roster.
Jets. That's pretty easy. Raiders. Browns. See a pattern here. I would probably have to add Houston. They just never seem to really have anything that I'm very excited about.
On the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, on the offensive side of the ball, they just kind of sporadic all over the place.
I bet you I know the last one. The Tennessee Titans.
Yep.
I know it. I know Ty better than anybody. Ty hates the Titans.
I don't like the Titans.
No, he doesn't. I'm telling you, he always, except for the King, of course. You love the King.
There's some outliers.
There's some outliers.
There's some really good spots, and like I know I'll make Wiz blush, but Ravens running back, they always have good running backs.
Right.
They're good players. Steelers wide receivers, Commanders tight ends. Like it just seems to be kind of a little bit of a pattern to some of these teams. They just draft one area very well. And
let me say this, and I'm going to let Wiz respond to this right now, but like Ty, even more, I know that you practice what you preach because like Chigakonkwo is the prime example of that.
Yeah.
You had no time for Chigakonkwo when he was in Tennessee.
And now I'm interested.
And now you're interested because he's with Washington.
Yeah.
So Ty, I'm telling you.
But is Washington actually a good franchise though, as well? That's like.
Well, it's not a good franchise,
but they always seem to have good tight ends. They always seem to have good tight ends. I mean,
Ty's saying they do something right, from a fantasy football standpoint. Go ahead, Wiz. Let's hear what you have to say.
I was going to say, so Ty, now what does a team need to prove to you to have good culture? Because we could have made the argument during the dark times of the Lovie Smith, the Matt Nagy, Matt Eberflus era of Chicago was a really bad culture fire, right? Yep. Maybe a dumpster, a landfill, a nuclear wasteland, however you want to phrase it, right?
Yep.
Now, what establishes good culture? Because this is a thing Bob and I had conversations about. Because he's once bad culture, always bad culture kind of guy. That's what it kind of seems like until you win a Super Bowl, which, granted, one of the hardest things to do, if not the hardest in sports in general. So what does the team need to do for you to say, you know what, the culture has changed? Is that just simple as bringing a head coach in like Ben Johnson? Obviously Washington brought in Dan Quinn. Lions brought in Dan Campbell. Is that it that a team needs to do and win some games, make it to the playoffs, win a playoff game? Or is there more to it?
Yeah, I just think bringing in the right candidates. So like with Ben Johnson, they brought him in and that's who they ended up taking was Caleb Williams, and that's I don't think it's like a curse. Like anyone can break the curse. I think you just gotta you gotta start somewhere. And the Bears have been bad for years for quarterback. And obviously, I wouldn't touch anyone with a 10-foot pole. But we really liked what we seen out of Caleb. And I'm not saying like, okay, I'm not taking Caleb because it just seems whoever goes to Chicago just doesn't do well. I like the talent, and it's showing. I just think that you just have to bring in the right candidates and let them kind of drive the bus for you a little bit. They brought in the big fish and Ben Johnson, and it's proven to be a wise choice. And now maybe the Bears quarterback will be a little bit on the map, but shouldn't have to worry about that for a while because Caleb's going to be there for a pile of years. So,
well, he's not on the map. He's on the Madden cover.
Yeah, so. That's true. That's true.
So he has the Madden curse going against him on top of it this season. But and then follow-up question. So Chargers, they brought in Harbaugh, obviously the better. I don't know if you can say better because he lost the Super Bowl to his brother John. But with Adam Gase coming to that coaching staff, is that culture tainted now?
It hasn't been great for me, though. Like, it hasn't been great for me. Like, I haven't been interested in any receiver since really Keenan Allen there. Like, he's been the guy for a long time. I mean, Mike Williams was pretty good there, too. But, yeah, I mean, it seems like it's getting tainted ever since they took Quentin Johnson. They can't seem to bring in anybody. Like, and that's why I'm not taking a Trey Harris, because it just seems like they keep following the same prototype receiver that just doesn't work there.
The big, just awkward.
Right.
And let me just say this though, Ty. Like, and I hate to interrupt you, but like this is on my mind, and like I know your mind. I know how it works. You are anti Justin Herbert. Like you are. Like, I mean, you are not a big, like, I've never seen you really draft him.
No.
Like, here's the thing. I know what you're thinking. Like, he's not the worst quarterback, but you don't like him for fantasy football.
I don't.
Yeah, I know you don't. That's what I'm saying. So, like, you don't like the whole system right now.
Yeah, I just don't like what's going on there. I don't really have any shares of the team. I mean, I do like Njoku, but, I mean, it's just... Yeah, it's just been kind of a wasteland there, too, as of late. I don't know what's really going on, but they're going to have to get it turned around. They're just not drafting very well, in my opinion. I don't even really like the Hampton pick. I'm not an Amari and Hampton guy.
Thank you.
With the rumors of being a 300 backfield as well.
Yeah, and hey, maybe they should run Keaton Mitchell. He's a Baltimore back, so...
There you go.
Yeah, but, yeah, I think it's just something that people need to pay attention a little bit more. It don't completely... take over fantasy football. I just think sometimes the right choice is there because a team knows how to draft them. A team knows how to draft
a certain position.
Yeah, like the Steelers are just great at receiver. They don't get everyone, but they get a lot of them. In the same way with and I think he might even be able to be something this year. I just think he was used the wrong way. I think he's going to have a better season. I do. We'll see what happens there, but yeah, there's just certain teams that just do the right thing and have been doing it for years.
And like you're saying, Ty, no team bats 100.
No,
but they definitely bat better than 500 in a lot of positions. And I know you're right about that. You're absolutely right. Minnesota's another one with wide receivers. They always bring in guys that are at least respectable or good. They've always done that. So I mean, like you could go back to the Randy Moss days. They had Jake Reed and Chris Carter. Like they brought in these guys. I mean, that's Minnesota in a nutshell.
And I will say, too, like, I shit on the Browns, but, like, that running backs for them, they always seem to be valuable.
At least their best part of their team.
Yeah, and even, like, last year, like, Jerome Ford, like, he had a decent season, and it's Jerome Ford. Like, and now Quinshawn Junkins is there, and that's a big reason why I really wanted Junkins. I liked him out of college, and then he went to Cleveland, and I loved the spot, and the small sample size we've seen, the guy can play. So, I just think it's something that's not talked about enough, something that kind of people make jokes about and they don't think it's real, but I think it's something that you really got to pay attention to.
It's a lot more real than people think it is.
I think so, yeah.
And I mean, you look at the Chargers, right, and this is the last thing I want to say. And this is just like how it's flip-flop for you. You've said it. You like the Phillip Rivers, the Austin Eckler, the Antonio Gates type era.
Yep.
You liked and trusted Phillip Rivers more from a fantasy standpoint over Justin Herbert.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's where
not even close.
Now listen, hear me out, all right? If Justin Herbert has 9 kids, are you going to trust him?
Not in that offense.
Oh, Ty, we love it. But let me just tell you here right now, though, I mean, that is a big part of it. You know, Bob likes to go on his tangents and Wiz likes to fight with him about it. But hey, you know, the proof's in the pudding. Like, and it is a lot of the same teams that are offenders of this. And I think where I come from to close this out is you guys hit it on the head. It all starts up top. If your owner ain't serious, if your general manager ain't worth a pint of piss, and you're not bringing in the right people to build that culture, then you're going to stay in the quagmire you're in.
Right.
And I think that, like Wiz said, right, Detroit kind of got out of that. Chicago got out of that.
Yeah.
But we see some teams, and Chicago's at least been respectable at times. I know they've been bad, like stretches.
Right.
But, like, they've been respectable at times. Like, the Browns are horrible. The Jets are horrible. Like, a lot of these teams you mentioned are just like, where is there? They might have one season in the last 20 where it was anything worth a damn.
Yep.
So that's, I think, where you got to really look. But great episode of Dynasty After Dark, guys. I mean, you guys are always full of a lot of enjoyment, laughs, and knowledge. We appreciate that. Guys, the NFL season's getting close. It's upon us. If you are enjoying the content here on Spotify, Apple Pod, Stitcher, Amazon, any of the big podcasting platforms, and you haven't yet, please follow and 5-star the show. We greatly appreciate it. If you guys want to check out Dynasty DNA on YouTube, subscribe to Dynasty DNA on YouTube. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Dynasty DNA over there, and on X at Dynasty DNA_. And check out the website, DNASportsNetwork.com. Get over there and check that out as well. Listen, I know I speak for Wiz, Ty, and everyone here at the Dynasty DNA Network when we say we hope you guys have a great weekend in front of you. Enjoy the football now that it's back, even if it's preseason. But we'll see you all on the next episode of Dynasty After Dark.